I've been how do I put how I've been feeling? I've been noticing my dramatic ways, yet the drama around me it seems to be fading. As I've said many times before, really, I've been going through this complex mental process. If you're watching me, you probably are subscribed to me, so you know about it. I'm sometimes even in disbelief in retrospect at some of the things I managed to say and I managed to put out there. Not because they were I'm in awe, because they were amazing things, because I am not really along the same line that I like to be on. I've covered this in the latest video actually of mine. People are individual, unique. And I've had this bad tendency in a few and many videos, not just latest, many videos. Actually, I've been rescinding more than anything, but many videos of mine have had this tendency to generalize people as a paranoid crowd because of a few life experiences I've had that have made me doubt other people and that have made me doubt the world. And the truth is I live a very leisurely life. I just am troubled by my mental complexion and my hallucinations can prevent me from being motivated and what's the word for it? Doing things, prevents me daily from doing things. I notice how the hallucinatory grasp would not only kill my productivity in so many ways, but would maybe forget the word productivity. Maybe it's really a sign that I do not have as much control as I think. And in this video called My Purpose, I go into how I'm not known by. I'm hidden from the exterior world because I have these massive thoughts about how the world is simulated and how there are demons in the sky and there are gods in the sky and there are spirits that watch us and so on. And then I say in a video that I'm hidden from it all and that I'm just a dead man walking and so on, and that I do not really exist to them. And I'm just thinking, what does it mean? What does it mean? Well, maybe I'm too overly optimistic in holding that perspective. It's hard to make conclusions clear unless they're my infatuated deceit. I've noticed that. And I noticed a lot of things about my videos. I noticed that I want to speak in a much more clean way because, sorry, I'm just a dirty fucker. I noticed I want to speak in a much more clean way because in so many of my videos I use filler words, which I do not appreciate whatsoever, such as like, especially the word like. I'm not considering other perspectives enough. I'm not considering other people's personal experiences. I'm not entering people's shoes, such as I've asked them to enter mine. these are things I've been noticing about myself, and it's been a long time since my last vlog because, well, my mind told me I'm being tracked on the web and so on, and I needed to take a long break from YouTube so I could find a cleansing in myself and in the world around me. So I accepted it. It's been about a month and a half. Might wait a little bit before I post this. By the time it's posted, well, it's out there, right? So there's that. Right now, it's been about a month. It's been about a month and a half. Yeah. This is my last video. So the perplexion of life dictates that perhaps there's no perplexion after all on the surface. On the surface, we are everyday people. We are very much laymen, just walking through life and working, and there can be philosophy and there can be depthfulness, but there's a simplified notion to living when you really think about it. I'm just gonna wait. Let's take off my belt because it's kind of choking me up right now. Let me just do that real quick. There's sort of a simplified notion to living because I find that a lot of philosophy and a lot of spirituality revolves around existential concepts, which do not necessarily apply to our physicality, but I've been finding out how much these concepts can actually apply to our physicality regardless. Maybe it's not to the point that you get transported to another world and then you find out things and then it affects your current physical behavior. Or maybe it is, and maybe you just don't really notice it through your own eyes, but maybe you're experiencing that other side of you as well. That's something I've had some theories about, but I notice how much I'm too quick to speak objectively, to summarize things as absolute truths. I should be much more careful with that. I should be much more careful with what I do put out there to the world. I've noticed that as well, that a few of my videos in particular seem like very delusional videos to me. I'm sorry about that. A few beyond that of delusional moments. One video is called I'm trying to explain the truth to all of you, or trying to explain the truth to all of you. And I just remember being extremely high on marijuana when I recorded that video. I've been off the pot for 17 days or so. What I can say is that in that video, I'm trying to remember exactly what I said, but I say that this billionaire called Elon Musk is infiltrating upon my life, my turf. I put it, my turf. Which kind of made me feel awkward. At the time, I don't know, I just saw it as a really depthful comment. My videos, they're always the same thing in that sense. I am really flowing. I'm not really thinking it through. But lately I've really gained more of a head on my shoulders, and I've been retrospectively seeing what I've said and all that. And I'm noticing how cool some of it is, how strange some other parts of it is. Grew really fearful about society many times in the past month and a half. Started thinking that people wanted to eat me alive, wanted to kill me, you know. As well, I did grow quite petrified over society as well. But I've been learning what it means to be alive, and what it means to accept that grief inside of me, because there's no point in being this way. There's only a point in accepting that despite people's differences and despite people's disagreements with me, everyone can have a heart. You could argue even serial killers can have a heart, really. And you could also argue that in a sense, maybe we're all kind of heartless, and it's not mean to put myself out of that equation, because the truth is, I have been heartless. I know about it. But there's stories I will never share. They're not physically violent stories, although I've had a few of those. But I've said some pretty irrational to very irrational things in my life. I feel bad about those things. I really do feel bad about those things. I notice that society is a judgmental affair. However amusing social media can be, X in particular is a zoo, I think. Such as the parliament is a zoo. I really think so. And I've been on X and I've been browsing it here and there, and I notice how people are very quick to judge and to insult popular figures in particular. Political discourse is heated without much actual factuality for the most part, rather insults and rash judgments. Now, another thing I've been considering is that I am just speaking these cordial and these sweet words to compensate for my irrational tendencies, as a way to gratify my own self. As a hypothetical, I mean, but it could very well be, I mean. Maybe that's kind of the point of it, Even though I like to think it comes to the heart, and even though they're so very comfortable, I have to admit that my videos, they always feel quite comfortable for the most part. They always feel quite comfortable to me. So is the difference between this video and a different video? I don't know. But I can tell you right now that this is better to me. But maybe I would have said that about a previous video. In a previous video. I've even said in videos, this will be one of my most open-minded, or this is one of my best videos, or this is my best video, blah, blah, blah. I've said quotes like that before, and I can feel deep down I'm always uncomfortable about quotes like that, because, well, maybe there's a point in it being too much of a overt expectation, or it's too potent of a claim without potentially even being true, because, well, especially when I'd be on marijuana, the videos I create, they would be so caught up in delusional, grandiose thinking, I just want to say that maybe, how do I put this? Maybe I'm just being held together like bare ingredients that I've forever known. Maybe I'm just being held together by bare ingredients that I've forever known. I cannot even focus on the fact I'm recording. I'm playing with my belt. I'm playing with the bed sheets. Maybe I am just a robotically driven creature that still is human. Don't get me wrong, but the reason I say that is because I feel like at this point I'm all too programmed. They have programmed me. They have replaced me in a sense, even though I am still my sentience and I'm still very real and I'm still my consciousness. I feel like they have replaced me in a way. They've replaced a part of me away from myself. They've replaced it with something else. And I guess all of that is to say, my logicality, when that leaves, what am I left with? Well, maybe I'm left with a delusional, unrealistic, angered, petty little self that can only scream or complain. So then I'm given pragmatism and I'm given logical thinking and assertive ways penetrate through me, and then I piece it together. And yeah, I work with it and I embellish myself in it and I accept it and I gratify through it, but mostly gratified through it at least. But at the end of the day, it all can come undone just as easy as it was introduced. And maybe that is the point in of itself regarding who I really am. If you get that, meaning that I keep it real, I keep it 100, I keep it real, but it comes to me superficially. That's a really sad thing. I think that's a real sad thing. Even I can already be any other way. Maybe there was a time I could more so be another way. I can't really be any other way. It's been a problem in my life quite a few times to not be able to accept criticism too well. Especially when I was younger, I grew to be more accommodated to it. More accommodated to it, definitely. More accommodated to it. Even though I'm going through the same paranoid ramblings here and there, granted. And as a point more than anything is that I just hope people out there love me, if they know me at all, such as I want to love them. And I'm sorry that I can be so caught up in my manic ways and that the erasure overcomes me here and there, and then I forget my thinking, I forget my thoughts. Because, well, I've always thought maybe the point of my erasure mentally is that I wasn't really thinking about it all along, what I wanted to say. But it was very little I was actually thinking about it. And yeah, I can't do much about it. I mean, I feel like I can't do anything about it, But very few things are things I've actually thought about. And they could either pertain to deep regrets or deep regrets, and what else? I guess deep regrets, really. Maybe music, the music I've made. Pretending around me 100% of the time. Pretending based on me. Pretending upon me, I mean. These are just some revelations I need to put out there because it is time, and I feel it is good that I'm recording this video because, well, maybe the point is, and the honesty truly my appreciation for life in of itself. And what is honesty? Well, I guess honesty would be to just speak the pragmatic truths, or honesty could be to just share how you feel. Honesty, really more than anything to me, it's to not think about it. It's to not know one thing and say a different thing. That's what honesty is more than anything. It's not to know one thing and to say a different thing. It's to know that thing and then say that thing. But sometimes you kind of have to lie in life. I mean, it's kind of true, extremely true, really. There are times in life where you will have to sort of tell a lie, to mostly completely even tell a lie. Otherwise, you won't be able to recover. Otherwise, the damage will be too grave. It's extremely important to consider every moment like that. Yet I cannot really consider, I cannot really think. I can interpret and deduce the analysis inside of me. I can figure out what my thoughts mean whenever they're sensitive. They tend to be conversational topics brought forward by the schizo, by the hallucinations. Then I can answer those. Schizo trolls me a little bit. The schizo trolls me a little bit. Schizophrenia. It's not really that bad. I mean, I don't hear voices. So there's that. Anyways. I have a lot of maturing left to do. I remember this one time, at least someone on my channel commented that I'm a smart guy. And I think I replied that I'm not so smart. You see, intelligence in a lot of ways, it is depthful wisdom. It is the retrospective analysis. Intelligence is figuring out right from wrong. In that sense, I haven't been a very intelligent answer lately. There can be wisdomful words, such as there can be wisdomful thinking. Maybe that's the point. Another thing I'm thinking about is how there's this hole that can be dug where people think, especially with people that are successful, where people think, oh, they're just compensating for people's the celebrity or the person who's successful that is being seen as just compensating for what people think of them. And that's why they will rescind, that's why they will apologize, and that's why they will try to better themselves. Just interesting thought to consider, but I don't really believe in that. But it is an interesting thought to consider. Anyways. I think I've said all I want to say this time around. So thank you. I'm happy that, by the way, I'm happy that Valve is releasing new hardware. But it seems very shitty to me that they're not releasing a VR game. Because they're releasing a new VR kit and they only have one full-fledged VR game, Half-Life Alyx. And they're releasing another VR kit and they're not releasing another VR game. So I think that sucks. That really sucks. But yeah, so, like, shouts out to the Steam Frame, shouts out to the Steam Machine, or whatever they're calling it, the Steam Controller. Whatever they're calling those. See ya.